Everything changes in the Heartland Season 19 finale, the moment. Amy makes a decision that no one sees coming, one that could reshape her life, the ranch, and the people she loves. It's the kind of moment that stops you, makes you rewind, and wonder how long the show has been quietly building toward this turning point. The finale doesn't rely on loud drama or sudden tragedy. Instead, it uses soft looks, quiet choices, unspoken emotions to deliver one of the most powerful endings Heartland has given us in years. And once you understand the meaning behind each moment, the entire episode takes on a deeper, almost hidden story that fans will be thinking about long after the credits roll. The finale begins by settling us back into Heartland after the events of episode 9, but something feels different right away. There is a calmness around the ranch, the kind that usually comes before a big shift. Amy is already carrying the weight of everything that has happened this season, every challenge, every doubt, every unexpected change. She walks through the barn with that quiet strength she always has, yet there's a hint of hesitation in her eyes. It's as if she knows something is coming, even if she hasn't admitted it to herself yet. Jack senses it too. He has always been the emotional anchor of Heartland, and in the opening scenes, he seems unusually thoughtful. He watches the ranch with a softer gaze, thinking about the choices he has made, the people he has guided, the many moments that shaped his family. There's a sense that Jack's storyline is leading him toward an important realization, one that ties deeply into the legacy of Heartland itself. The season has given him trials, conflict, and emotional strain, but this episode hints that the finale will bring him some form of clarity. Meanwhile, Tim is dealing with the fallout of decisions that finally caught up to him. His storyline has been troubled all season, full of tension and unresolved problems. In this opening part of the finale, he moves differently, less arrogant, more aware of the consequences he can no longer escape. It becomes clear that Tim's arc will reach a turning point that could either redeem him or deepen the gap between him and the people he cares about. The episode intentionally keeps this tension alive. It's letting the audience feel the uncertainty in every scene he appears in. Lou's world is also shifting. Her responsibilities, both personal and professional, have been pulling her in every direction. The finale sets the stage for her to face a choice that affects not just her career, but her family. She appears tired, but determined, as if she's finally ready to make decisions she has been avoiding for too long. By the end of this opening setup, all these threads begin to tighten. The ranch is peaceful, but beneath the calm lies pressure, emotional, personal, and deeply tied to each character's journey. The finale makes it clear. This is the episode where everything begins to change. The first act of the finale wastes no time showing that something is stirring beneath the surface of Heartland. Amy begins her day with a simple task, checking on a troubled horse brought to the ranch just a few days earlier. But the moment she approaches it, there's a shift. The horse reacts strongly, pulling back in fear, and Amy pauses. For a brief second, she questions herself. It's rare to see her doubt her own instincts. And that tiny moment tells us that the weight she carries this season has finally reached a breaking point. Still, she steps forward, gently calming the horse, showing that even when she's uncertain, her heart guides her better than anything else. Jack watches from a distance. His eyes follow Amy with a mix of pride and worry. The ranch has always been a place of healing, but he knows that healing often comes with painful truths. When he walks over to Amy, he doesn't lecture or offer advice. Instead, he asks her one simple question. Are you all right? It's a soft moment, almost too quiet to notice, but it reveals how deeply connected these characters are. Amy tries to brush off her feelings, forcing a smile, but Jack sees through it. He always does. Their short exchange sets the emotional tone for the rest of the episode. I built not on loud drama, but on honest, vulnerable connections. Meanwhile, Tim gets hit with a situation he can't run from. A former partner arrives unexpectedly, demanding answers about choices Tim made earlier in the season. The tension between them is sharp, almost uncomfortable, and for once Tim doesn't have a quick response. This confrontation pushes him into the reality he has been avoiding. His past decisions were not just mistakes. They were wounds that never healed. His storyline begins to turn here, pushing him toward accountability whether he wants it or not. Lou also steps into the spotlight. She deals with a growing pressure in her political and family life. She receives news that forces her to evaluate what she has been chasing and what she has been sacrificing. Her expression shows a mix of excitement and fear, reminding viewers that success often demands pieces of ourselves we don't realize we're giving away. By the end of Act 1, the energy in the episode has shifted. The ranch feels heavier. The characters feel closer to life-changing choices. The stories that have been slowly building all season finally begin to move toward their breaking points. Everyone is standing at the edge of something in certainty, truth, or a transformation, and the finale makes it clear that none of them will walk away unchanged. Act 2 of the finale marks the moment when hidden truths begin to rise to the surface, and every character is quietly pushed toward the point where they can no longer avoid what they've been carrying. The shift starts with Amy, after her tense moment with the troubled horse earlier. She returns to the pen determined to understand what's really going on, not just with the horse, but with herself. As she reaches out again, the horse responds in a way she didn't expect. Instead of pulling away, it takes a hesitant step toward her. This simple gesture feels symbolic, almost like the animal is reflecting her internal struggle. Amy realizes the horse isn't just afraid, it's mirroring her own feelings of uncertainty. This realization hits her harder than she expects, pushing Amy into deeper self-reflection. For the first time this season, she wonders if she's been so focused on helping others that she forgot to check in with her own heart. Jack's storyline takes a meaningful turn here as well. He visits a familiar place on the ranch, a quiet patch of land that holds memories of those he's loved and lost. Standing there, he lets out a breath he's been holding for too long. Jack has always carried the unspoken duty of keeping everyone strong, but in this moment, he allows himself to simply feel. A memory surfaces, one that reminds him of why Heartland exists in the first place, to be a home where people can break, heal, and begin again. This reflection gives Jack a new sense of clarity. He realizes he can't protect everyone from their hardships, but he can guide them through it. It's a gentle but powerful shift in his character that prepares him for the emotional moments still to come. Tim's tension reaches a new peak in this act. After being confronted earlier, he finally sits down and really listens to the person accusing him of making selfish choices. Their voice shakes, filled with disappointment and frustration. Tim can't hide behind excuses anymore. This is the moment when he must decide whether he will grow past his old habits or fall back into them. The scene doesn't explode with yelling. Instead, it's filled with quiet truth, the kind that hurts more because it comes from someone who once believed in him. Tim's silence becomes the loudest part of the confrontation. Meanwhile, Lou faces her own turning point when she meets with someone who challenges her perspective. They gently question her priorities, asking if the life she's building truly reflects who she is or if she's running after something she no longer wants. Lou doesn't have an answer, and that uncertainty becomes the seed of change that will influence her final decision later in the episode. As Act 2 closes, there is a feeling that all these storylines are beginning to converge. The characters are standing at the center of their own storms, each one facing a truth they can no longer escape. The emotional tension grows heavier, and the episode prepares us for the climax, the moment when everything that has been quietly building finally breaks open. The heart of the finale begins beating faster in Act 3, and every storyline starts moving toward a collision. The tension doesn't come from a dramatic explosion or a sudden disaster. It comes from small moments where characters face the truth they've been avoiding. And it begins with Amy. After spending the day trying to connect with the troubled horse, she suddenly understands what the animal has been trying to show her. It isn't resisting training, it's resisting trust. This hits Amy deeply, because she realizes she has been doing the same thing, holding people at a distance, protecting herself so completely that she forgot what it feels like to let someone in. As she runs her hand along the horse's neck, her voice softens, and for the first time in the episode, she speaks with full honesty. It's a breakthrough for the horse, but even more for her. The camera lingers on Amy's expression, capturing the quiet moment where her walls finally begin to lower. At the same time, Jack finds himself in a conversation he didn't plan. A younger character approaches him, asking for guidance. and Jack's advice hits unexpectedly close to home. He tells them that strength isn't about pretending nothing hurts, but about being brave enough to heal. As he speaks, it becomes clear he is saying the words as much for himself as for anyone else. The ranch has always been his anchor, but Jack realizes he has been holding on to old pain that no longer serves him. This realization softens him. It's creating a powerful emotional shift that prepares him. For the final scenes of the episode, Tim's storyline hits its sharpest moment. After facing criticism earlier, he now must confront the consequences head-on. Someone he cares about stands in front of him, not angry, but disappointed. And disappointment can cut far deeper than anger. As they speak, Tim's defenses crumble. He finally admits that he made choices out of fear of losing control. Fear of being forgotten, fear of repeating mistakes he swore he'd never make again. This confession isn't dramatic or loud. It is raw and honest, showing a rare side of Tim that fans don't often get to see. It marks the beginning of a possible redemption, but also leaves the question of whether those he hurt can truly trust him again. Meanwhile, Lou reaches a moment of truth in her storyline. She stands alone in her office, reading a message that forces her to look at everything she has built. The room feels heavy, filled with reminders of who she has become and what she may be losing. She places the message down slowly, almost as if she's setting down a piece of herself. The silence in this scene is powerful. It shows a woman who has spent so long trying to balance everyone else's needs that she forgot to ask what her own heart wants. Lou's uncertainty becomes one of the most relatable moments in the finale. As Act 3 ends, every character stands on the edge of a choice. The tension is no longer about what might happen, it's about what they will decide. The episode tightens like a held breath, preparing for the emotional explosion that defines the climax of the finale. Everything the episode has been building toward finally comes together in the climax. And it begins with Amy standing alone in the arena at dusk. The sky above Heartland fades into soft gold and purple. The troubled horse stands across from her, calmer than before but still unsure. Amy takes a deep breath, not the kind meant to calm a horse, but the kind meant to steady herself. This is the moment when she stops hiding from the truth she has buried for far too long. She steps forward, slow and gentle, and the horse mirrors her movement. They meet in the center of the arena, and it feels like the whole ranch holds its breath. When the horse lowers its head, it becomes clear. It trusts her at last. But this isn't just a breakthrough in training. This is a moment where Amy finally accepts that she's ready to open her heart again. Ready to let new chapters begin instead of living in the shadow of old wounds. This realization becomes the emotional heartbeat of the climax. Jack arrives just in time to witness this breakthrough. He doesn't say a word. He simply watches with soft eyes, filled with pride and relief. For him, seeing Amy reach this place brings back memories, some painful, some joyful of everything she has survived. Jack's storyline hits its own powerful moment when he whispers to himself, she's finally coming back. It's not about her skills with horses. It's about her healing. The scene quietly confirms that Jack's role as the steady guide of the family has not faded. Instead, it becomes stronger as he sees Amy step into the next phase of her life. Tim's climax unfolds in a very different way. His emotional turning point comes not from a breakthrough, but from a collapse. After years of hiding behind pride, he finally faces the person he hurt the most this season. Instead of defending himself, Tim lowers his guard completely. He admits every failure, every fear, every choice he made that caused pain. The person listens, eyes full of hurt but also of deep history. Tim whispers a simple apology, but it's the sincerity behind it that makes the moment powerful. Whether forgiveness comes or not, Tim has changed. This scene marks the first time in a long while where he chooses humility over pride. Meanwhile, Lou's climax happens in a quiet, nearly still moment. She holds a letter, one that could reshape her future, and finally reads it aloud to herself. As she speaks, her voice cracks, not from sadness, but from the weight of knowing her life is standing at a crossroads. Her eyes fill with tears. She doesn't fight. Lou realizes she can't keep stretching herself so thin, chasing a version of success that leaves no room for joy. This moment becomes her emotional awakening. setting the stage for the choice she makes in the closing scenes. By the time the climax reaches its final beat, the emotional tension inside Heartland bursts open. All the characters, in their own separate ways, finally face the truth they've been pushing aside. And in doing so, they begin to rewrite the paths their lives will take moving forward. The air around the ranch feels lighter, but also filled with the promise and uncertainty of what comes next. The ending of the Heartland Season 19 finale is quiet, it's gentle, and deeply meaningful. It doesn't rely on a dramatic twist or a shocking reveal. Instead, it closes with a series of moments that show how much each character has changed. Even if nothing explosive happens on the surface, the first of these moments belongs to Amy. After her breakthrough with the horse, she walks back toward the barn, the evening air cool and still. She pauses beside the door, looking out at the fields stretching across Heartland. For the first time in the entire season, her expression isn't clouded with grief or uncertainty. There's a softness in her eyes, a sense of acceptance. The ending makes it clear that she is finally ready to stop holding herself back. Amy's journey in this finale isn't about taking a bold leap. It's about choosing to live again, fully and openly. Without fear of breaking, Jack's ending is equally powerful, though much quieter. He sits on the porch, the old wood creaking under his boots, watching the sun dip below the hills. His face carries the marks of a man who has lived through both loss and love. But this time, there's peace in his expression. Jack doesn't need a grand moment to show growth. His stillness is enough. The finale suggests that Jack has reached a point where he can finally release some of the weight he's carried for years. He understands now that his role is not to shield everyone from pain, but to walk with them through it. This acceptance gives him a sense of freedom that sets up a more hopeful path for him moving into the next season. Tim's ending holds different energy. After opening up earlier, he stands alone outside the ranch house, staring into the night sky. There's no guarantee of forgiveness, no promise that everything will return to normal. But the finale doesn't frame this as a failure. Instead, it shows Tim in a rare moment of honesty with himself. He has taken responsibility, and that alone marks a turning point. The ending implies that Tim's long-running struggle with pride may finally be shifting, leaving room for real healing if he chooses to keep walking the path he started in this episode. Lou's final scene is one of the most symbolic moments in the finale. She returns to her office, the letter still in her hand. After a long pause, she places it on her desk and turns off the light. This simple action tells us everything. Lou is ready to make a choice that reflects her true priorities, instead of the expectations placed on her. She is choosing clarity over pressure, peace over chaos, and authenticity over appearances. The ending hints that season the 20th of May bring a major shift in Lou's storyline, one that centers her personal happiness more than her professional. Responsibilities, all these final moments blend into a soft but powerful conclusion, showing how Heartland has always told its stories, not through sudden drama, but through emotional truth. The episode's closing scenes explain that healing doesn't arrive with a big event. It arrives quietly in the small choices characters make when no one is watching. And that is what makes this finale so moving. The final scene of the Heartland Season 19 finale is simple, quiet, and deeply symbolic, exactly the kind of ending that stays with you long after the screen fades to black. It begins with the entire ranch settling into silence for the night. The sky is dark, painted with stars, and the soft glow from the porch lights creates a warm outline around the familiar buildings. This peaceful setting makes the moment feel almost like a breath being held, a calm that signals something new is about to begin. Amy steps out onto the porch, rubbing her hands together gently as she looks across the ranch. She isn't smiling, but her expression shows something more meaningful: readiness. It's the look of someone who has finally stopped running from her emotions and is ready to face whatever comes next. As she stands there, Jack joins her. He doesn't speak at first. The two of them simply share the view, two figures carrying years of memories between them. When he finally speaks, it's a single quiet line, something supportive, something filled with love, something that reminds Amy she is never alone. She doesn't respond aloud. Instead, she rests her head for a moment against the porch beam, letting the weight of the day settle in.